All right, let's talk about the 1950s. When you think about this decade, what comes to mind? Poodle skirts? Rock and roll? Well, there's a whole other side to it. It was this really strange mix of intense global fear and, at the same time, this incredible boom happening right here at home. So how on earth do those two things happen at once? Let's dive in and figure it out.
Okay, to really get a grip on the whole global situation back then, you got to check out this analogy. Think of the Cold War as a massive high school. Seriously, you've got these major countries all trying to be the strongest, the smartest, basically the most popular kid in school, which in this case is the entire planet. It's such a great way to think about that constant competition, that one-upsmanship that was just everything during that time.
So what exactly was the Cold War? Well, here's the official take. It was this super long period of tension, starting right after World War II and lasting all the way into the early 90s. And tension is absolutely the key word. It wasn't a hot war with massive battles between the big players. Instead, it was this constant simmering threat. You know, that feeling that something could go wrong at any second, like a pot that's just about to boil over.
So, who were the two big rivals in this global high school? Well, on one side, you've got the United States pushing for democracy and capitalism. And on the other side, the Soviet Union, the USSR, all about promoting communism. These two superpowers, with their totally opposite ways of seeing the world, were the main characters in this entire global drama.
So you have all this crazy, intense stuff happening on the world stage, right? This big competition. But that makes you wonder, what was going on back home? I mean, what was life actually like for regular folks in America? Was everyone just hiding under their desks, or was something else going on entirely? And this is where things get really interesting. Because while all that Cold War tension was building up, something totally different was happening in America. We're talking about a huge post-war boom. You have to remember, people had just been through the Great Depression and then World War II. So there was this massive nationwide desire to just get back to normal, to find some peace and quiet and, build a good life. Now, this boom wasn't some random accident. It was like the perfect storm, a recipe with a few key ingredients. First up, you have millions of soldiers coming home. They're ready to settle down, start families, build a life. Then, you've got the factories. They stopped making tanks and planes and switched gears to making things people actually wanted to buy. Cars, washing machines, you name it. And on top of that, people had actually saved up money during the war, and now they were ready to spend it. It was the perfect fuel for a fire. And all of that, the soldiers coming home, the new jobs, the spending, it led to something huge. The birth rate didn't just go up a little bit. No way. It absolutely exploded. This created a massive wave of people we now call the baby boomers, a generation that would literally change the face of America for decades. So what you end up with is this wild tale of two eras happening all at once. You've got this massive global tension and at the same time, incredible prosperity at home. It's just a fascinating and kind of weird paradox, right?
Let's just break it down real simple. On the world stage, the 1950s experience was all about that tense high school rivalry, that superpower showdown. But back on the home front, it was a totally different story. It was all about this booming economy and this deep, deep search for a peaceful, normal life. Two completely opposite vibes happening in the very same decade.
And that brings us back to the big question, the real puzzle of the 1950s. How can a time of such great fear also be a time of such great prosperity? It just goes to show you, history is never black and white, right? It's always messy, full of contradictions. Maybe, just maybe, that desire for the perfect, peaceful home life was a way of coping with all the chaos out there in the world. It really makes you think about how these huge global events and our own personal lives are connected. So I'll leave you with that. How do you think fear and hope can exist side by side like that?